Great Convos Season 5 is here, and we're coming in strong.
Woo! Hello, everyone, and welcome to Great Convos, where we always say whether you agree or disagree, you can always find Great Convos. It is a beautiful Monday afternoon here. I'm Roger Caesar, and that gentleman over there.
Hey, I'm Alexandre Matt. Roger, I'm looking at your title right here. That's different than usual. I like it. Oh, what's mine? Oh, Roger, what do we have here?
I'm the aha guy, as in, that makes a lot of sense. And you?
I'm the guy today. Today we're going to talk about wisdom of different ways. Some things that make you and some things that make you go, aha.
Never thought of it like that. Why are we doing that today? This is a special day for us, Alex. Why don't you tell our loyal listeners? By the way, let me just do this first. Thank you very much to our loyal listeners. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with us, and we always appreciate it. And how ironic, because for today, Alex.
Well, today, for the first time, we're turning the microphones, well, not really microphones, let's say the spotlight on you, the listeners, the viewers. For the past 16 episodes of this 5th season of the Great Convos, we have been questioning conventional wisdom. Let's start over, okay? We can cut this out later.
Rewind us?
We have been questioning. We have been questioning conventional wisdom almost every week, and even when we had guests. And now we thought, well, how about looking at the wisdom that we have received from you, the viewers, the listeners? So we did a collection of the best of. We won't have time to go through all of them. There are so many great things that made us or aha, and sometimes you made us laugh as well. So we'll go through those different things that you have said or that you have left to us in the comments.
Yes, for sure. I mean, this is why this show has worked so well. I know that you and I have done our part, obviously, in enjoying this Monday episodes, every Monday coming out here and delivering what we hope is valuable content for everyone. And the beauty is our listeners, right, Alex? It's their contribution to the conversation. Some of the things that they have said have really stuck to us, and even to the point where oftentimes after the show, you and I would sit down and we would go through them and we would talk about some of the comments that were sent. Some of them were uplifting, some were thought-provoking, some were against maybe the things that we were saying, but at the same time, it was valuable not only for you and I, but just to the show in general, that we have such beautiful, loyal listeners that are willing and able and wanting to be a part of the show every Monday.
That's right. So that's why we say today we are looking at the wisdom of our listeners, because no wisdom goes unchallenged, not even ours. So Roger, how about we separate this in 3 categories? We can do, let's do smart, funny, and thought-provoking.
Okay.
How about that?
Like
so let's see. The smart, we'll think about some particularly articulate or insightful comments that we received now from different episodes. Let's start with this one. We have here. So we were talking about, this was episode 3. Don't quote me on that. Curtis Henderson, you remember this? He said, let's say we are passing on a sentence, something that has been quoted from one person to another. It's like the game of telephone. The full sentence is broken down, simplified to the point where the full meaning can be lost over time. Hence, quotes over time can be muddied.
Yes, yes. Shout out to Curtis for joining us and being a part of the conversation. Yeah, I mean, these are the things that we go, aha, that's true, right? These are those moments where we literally go back and we say, yeah, you know what, that's true. How many times? And I'll even send it out, shout it, send it out. Here's me now having to rewind to our listeners. How many times has a message been sent out, and by the time it really gets to where it's supposed to get to, it's not the real message at the end of the day.
Exactly.
Yeah, we've seen that happen. Right? How many other ones do we have? Oh, there it goes.
Yeah, we have a lot. Now here's Suzanne Rondeau. This was episode 12.
Hmm.
To improve, you have to accept change in order to learn. Status quo does not lead to betterment. Bien dit. Well said.
Well said. Well said. What are your comments on this one?
Well, this was the episode on if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So we were thinking of different angles, but then we started talking about our own self-improvement. So Suzanne chimed in with that. You know, we're not broken, Roger, but we can still be upgraded. So this is what Suzanne was attempting to tell us. We can always improve.
Oh yeah, and that's a great statement by Suzanne, because it's the truth. I mean, we went from different angles, as you said, trying to figure out if that particular conventional wisdom actually makes sense.
Mhm.
And at the end of the day, I think we had different comments during that period or that conversation that were yay, nay, here, there. It was pretty good.
Yep. Now, regarding um, what we're doing here, we're presenting online, and we had one episode about presenting online versus in person. One size fits all speaking. So we talked about the
Mm,
mistakes that we can do from going from one medium to another. And
yep.
I love what Steve told us. And I think we didn't have time to address it during the episode. We only saw it
Okay.
right at the end. Remember
Mhm.
this? Steve
Yes.
said, online, we, the audience, are always seated in the front row. No matter if you have 3 people in your audience or 3,000, every
Yeah.
single person is right there in front of us.
They have a front row seat, so you have to really, when you're online, obviously you have to take that into consideration. And the camera, again, quoting Mark Brown, the friends behind the lens, right?
Mhm.
Knowing that each person is literally staring at you on the other side, and you've got to make that connection. So
Yeah.
it's not like a person is way in the back here. No, we're all front row. So I love this.
Now, regarding the audience, this was not the same episode. This was actually just 3 weeks ago, episode 14. We were talking politics when we looked at the concession or the victory speeches from Mark Carney and Pierre Poilievre after the Canadian elections. And
Mhm.
when looking at how sometimes an audience can interrupt us during our speech, AJ writes this: the audience is communicating with you. How you respond is the difference.
Hmm. That's a hmm. Hmm.
Oh,
Right?
yeah, that's right.
Hmm. That's interesting. That's interesting. Did we bring that one up? Did we have time to even talk about that? Because that makes a lot of sense, right? When
Yeah,
you think
because
about how
we were
you
looking at
respond.
the reactions by Mark Carney when he looked a little flustered
Hmm.
when people were interrupting him. They were interrupting him kindly, but still he looked a little like, what do I do with this with this now?
Yeah, for sure. I got to put this one up by Jackie, who just said this right now. Oh, thank you. I'm looking like Yoda. I'm
Roger
turned
has
into you.
wait, Roger has turned into
Shut up.
Yoda. Are you changing the structures of your sentences?
I know, right? Thank you very much, Jackie. But yeah, in terms of that, it's also very important, even as speakers as well. for us to understand that how we react to certain situations that are happening around us can determine how others see us. Are we calm under pressure? Are we very reactive in a negative way when we see things happening around us? This is part of speaking as well. So that was a good one.
Now, we have way more in the smart category, but I'll end with this one here. This is from Jackie, so thank you for listening again, Jackie. This was, again, about the misquoting that we can do.
Mm-hmm.
What if you've researched the truth, but the common usage differs? So sometimes we want to use a quote or a common wisdom well, but the audience might not be in sync with us. Because the common usage of that conventional wisdom or of that quote is not what is true. Roger?
But can we also play it into what we were talking about before, where sometimes that conventional wisdom, while we think it's one way and it's supposed to be used in a certain way, when you get the totality of it, it's not? Is that also a part of that same comment? Or
I suppose. I guess it comes down to, if you're presenting to your audience, whether it's really an audience that you're presenting to from a stage, or just having lunch or coffee with friends, we need to be in sync in what we're communicating. What we are saying needs to be understood fully by the people we're talking to. So if there's a possibility that the interpretation of something that we're saying is different from what we're saying to how they're hearing it, then that's where there's the problem.
Well, I think Suzanne says it best. It's how it's perceived, right?
Yes.
And sometimes when it comes down to it, it's not perceived the way you expected it to be perceived.
That's right. We actually touched on that in previous seasons as well. When you've got something to say and the audience takes it in a different way, then you can be in trouble.
Right. Would you agree with this right here? Better to be quoted than rely on other people's quotes?
Generally speaking, yes, if we are quoted correctly.
Yes. Right? We don't want it to be muddied.
Exactly.
As already said. It's so true. What other ones do we have, Alex?
Well, are you ready to go into the funny comments, things that make us laugh?
Sure. I think so.
Or at least smile or chuckle, and sometimes they still make a point. Now, here's from episode 7. This is when we were talking about patience. Good things come to those who wait, or to those who take action. We're not sure. What did Kathy say about this? She started a prayer. God, give me the patience, but give it to me right now.
I like that one. Oh, sometimes we want things to happen ASAP, right? The world we live in today. The world we live in today, we want things to happen now. Or better yet, yesterday. We want it to happen yesterday, right?
Yeah.
So sometimes having patience isn't always a virtue. Is that how it goes? Patience is a virtue?
Patience is a virtue, yeah.
Is a virtue, sorry, is a virtue. And sometimes it isn't in that case, right?
Yeah, sometimes it's hard to have that patience, so we pray for it. Thanks, Kathy. Now, speaking of Kathy, there is another Kathy. This was Kathy with a K. There's Kathy with a C who commented on the episode about venting, blowing off steam. Does venting really help? And Kathy
I remember that one.
Kathy gave us another bit of advice. What can be useful? Distractions such as ice cream. Walk away, get ice cream. That will help.
And you know what, Kathy? Shout out to Kathy. I've known Kathy for quite some time. and that's just her personality. She's got that funny, witty style about her. So I wouldn't expect anything less from her with a comment like that. Good one. Good one. Yes, we need ice cream. Lots and lots of ice cream all the time.
How about
Right?
Brigham? Just last week, when we said actions speak louder than words, sometimes,
Mhm.
and he told us that sometimes actions speak so loudly that we can barely understand what you say.
Hmm.
Hmm.
That's a moment. That's a
Yeah, it's
Hmm.
as well as humorous. I don't know if Brigham meant to be funny here, but this can be seen in a funny way and a way.
Yeah. Actions speak so loudly we can barely understand what you say. What do you take from that? I mean, I look at it as maybe sometimes they're overbearing the way you act, that we don't really look at the words anymore because how you're acting is so out there and
Right?
outrageous at times.
Yeah, that can be it, or it can be taken at the, what do you call it, the first degree. Uh, I look at it as you said, that if your actions and your words are not in sync, then the
Mhm.
actions completely overrun what you say.
Right.
Actions speak louder than words. But you can also say, just uh, I think it's just funny on its face. Actions speak so
Yeah,
loudly that we can't. they, you
a
really,
good one.
really can't understand what you're saying.
Shout out to Brigham as well. Thank you for joining us as well. Man, we've had a lot of comments over the years, but yes,
Mhm.
over this particular season that have really intrigued us and made us laugh. And again, want to really emphasize how grateful that we are that we get to sit here for 20 minutes, 25 minutes on a Monday and chat with you. And you also enjoy being a part of the conversation by putting in your words of wisdom as well. So thank you very much. We got anything else? I mean, we've got some comments
Well,
that we have here. I love this. Hurry up and wait.
hi,
Hey
Rob.
Rob, how you doing? I like that. Right. What else do we have, Alex?
Well, let's end the funny bit with this, and
Okay.
I don't know what to make of this, Roger. Here's what Layla thinks. How are you so? Yeah. How about you read it, Roger, if you can manage.
Yes. How are you so funny, Alexandre? Even when you're not trying.
Mm.
Now, for those who know Alex over the years, I've noticed that he has such a dry humor about him at times, and he can be funny, and you don't even see it coming. It just comes. There's things that he does. He's great at it. Hey, listen, I've got to tell everybody, you have some amazing um, voiceovers and in the way that you can put together some voices, whether they are English, whether they are Australian. You have a nice way of doing it that not a lot of people get a chance to hear. Can you give us one, just so that we can have some fun?
Let's
Come on,
maybe
just a
we'll do it.
little
Maybe we'll
one.
do it once before the end of the episode. I can't just do it like that.
Oh,
Don't
yeah, that
worry.
was good. Thank you, Layla.
And I have no answer for you, Leila. Now, we looked at smart and funny. We've got some more that are really thought provoking, things
Mhm.
that really sparked some reflection, that made us challenge our own assumptions. Sometimes after the show, you mentioned sometimes we continue the conversation after the show. We're not live, we're not recorded, but we go on for sometimes up to an hour, just
Mhm.
reflecting on what has happened and what you shared with us.
Go
So,
ahead.
episode 2, do you remember what this was, Roger? Our special guest was Furzy Gotuako.
Yes.
What doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
Shout out to Furzy. How you doing, my friend?
Now
Thank you for being a part of the show.
we've got a few of them from that episode. Here's one from Suzanne, letting go of what is holding you from moving on is liberating.
Mm-hmm. Isn't that such a true statement, though?
Yeah.
Why hold on to it? Why hold on to things that are going to bog you down? That's going to make you have negative thoughts, self-doubt. Things happen, and what you're supposed to do is try to use that and learn from it. Learn
Yeah.
from those particular moments. And Furzy, I mean, he was. What I loved about him was his take on what happened at the World Championship and not looking at it from the perspective that it was the be all and end all, but he turned that around and he was very positive in how he looked at it. And I'm loving to see how he is now thriving out there, right?
Right.
And all because of that. You bring out good energy, and that's what it is. Once you don't let yourself get bogged down in that negative moment, good things
Mhm.
happen because you let that energy out there, that positive energy.
Exactly. Jackie said it in a different way. She said, looking back like that can be mental torture.
Oh,
It's so
yeah,
inspiring to hear you healing and moving on. Speaking of
yeah.
Furzy.
That's a good one.
Later on in the season, let's go back to episode, let's go forward, I should say, to episode 16. You Can't
hmm
Please Everyone was the title. You can't please everyone. Or can you? And we
hmm
had a lot of comments on that episode,
Yeah.
including this one from Elizabeth.
Ah,
People pleasing doesn't result in positive outcomes.
yeah. And I think, I think we've lost Alex, but let me answer this until he gets back. Yeah, I think this was a great way to put it. Shout out to you, Elizabeth. Thank you very much for also participating and being a part of it. Oh, right back. There he is. But I think that this is a very good statement because oftentimes we're trying to please people or we hope that we get people to like us at times. And then it doesn't always turn out to be the best of situations afterwards. And that was a wonderful way of putting that. I appreciate that, Elizabeth. Are you back, sir?
I am
You
back,
froze?
yes.
Oh, there you are. There you
Yeah.
go. Good, good, good.
And
What about you? How do you feel about it?
well, yeah, it's sometimes it seems like it's the easy way to try to please someone, to be the people pleaser, but I agree. It cannot be positive for you in the long run. Kathy said it in a different way, Kathy with a C. I try to
Mhm.
find solutions, but not at the expense of me or others.
Ah, I like that. I like that. And even Rob here, I liked how right now he just said, can't please everyone, but you got to please yourself.
Right.
Right? Thank you, Rob. Yeah, this is what I mean. All these episodes, man, you can't even begin to state how wonderful it is that we put this one together. We were thinking about this, and this was, when we were deciding what this season was going to be about. And how
Mhm.
ironic that we've come up with a lot of different conventional wisdoms and have taken them apart. Some of them we agreed on, some of we didn't. But looking back and seeing even our loyal listeners getting involved, oh, this is great.
Yeah. Will you allow me
Yeah.
to go back to the funny things? I realized I forgot one when we were talking about money and happiness. Money
hmm
doesn't buy happiness, or sometimes it does. And here is what Ilios told us. Money does not bring happiness if it is not in my wallet or bank account.
Oh, shout out to Elios. He's got it.
Okay, back to our regular scheduled programming. thought,
That's a
thought
good one.
provoking. Thought provoking. Now we had 3 different episodes about mistakes that we make when we're on stage or when we are speaking. And one of those episodes was about props, accessories on stage.
hmm
And I love this. We just spoke about actions speak louder than words. But sometimes words speak louder than actions. So
Mm-hmm.
here's Jackie, for whom words are very important. When we compare them to props, what does she say? Props can break the intimacy. Words are much more powerful.
Aha. I'm going with the aha on this one.
Yeah.
I like this one. I really like this one. Thank you for that one, Jackie. Yes, that is very true. Now, we have argued that if the prop is done properly and it really integrates well with the speech, then it's perfect. But nothing means more than being able to connect with those words to your audience and having that instant connection with them. Yeah, so it's good. I like that.
Yep. All right. I think we can do. We have time for about 3 more. What do you think?
We're up against the time, but hey, why not?
Let's go rapid fire. Here's one from Rob. I think this was the very first episode when we just fired quickly different conventional wisdoms and about the customer is always right. Here's what Rob had to say. The customer is not always right, but they want to hear that they are.
Yeah, and I've heard about this before. This is not a true statement. We talked about this well, but the customer is always right. Sometimes it's outrageous what they think or want to do in a situation, but they just want to be heard. They just want to be heard, and if you deal with it in that sense, that could take them off the ledge, so to speak, just to at least be heard.
Exactly. Now, one more really regarding conventional wisdom and how quickly so-called wisdom can be circulated in social media. AJ writes this: if you can be anything, be kind. Great conventional wisdom, especially in these days of social media.
Yeah. In a world where you could be anonymous and say things to people and not put your name to it, right? We've seen that happen 1,000, 1,000,000 times where really harsh comments are put on social media. And, what we need is a lot more kindness. And so thank you very much to AJ for that.
Now, we meet every week, Roger, and we have these conversations. And I often say, I hope that we will disagree in order to have a great conversation. Roger,
well, we have sometimes. We have sometimes. We have.
Why don't you tell us our regular tagline, and then I will let one of our viewers have the final word.
Yeah, that'll be cool. Well, we've come to the end of yet another Great Convos. And as we always say, whether you agree or disagree, you can always find Great Convos.
That's right. And before we leave with a great wisdom from one of our viewers, tune in next week. Next week will be the last episode of season 5, and we have invited a special guest, the world champion of public speaking from 2023, Jocelyn Tyson. I had the pleasure of meeting her a few weeks ago, and she is excited to be on our show next week. Roger, I will leave you with this. Jackie says, great convos keep people connected. When we stop talking, we're in trouble.
Beautifully said. Thank you very much to everyone who has participated over the course of this season. We appreciate you. We love you. We thank you. Please keep coming back. Keep having the conversations amongst yourself and in your communities and friends and family. And we will see you next week. Take care.
See you soon.